It looks like Blake Lively is finished. Megyn Kelly is on a relentless mission to expose every lie Blake has ever.
Will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have because the truth should be out there. What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
But you can rest assured that based on the investigation we've done, the text messages we have, the receipts that'll go along with that complaint, she's dead in the water.
Ever told, and the evidence she's revealing has just destroyed Blake's case. Megyn Kelly is bringing in her own lawyer to present undeniable receipts, proof that Blake Lively has been lying and manipulating the truth from the very beginning.
But Blake Lively was no victim here. She was in control, she was in power, and she took over this film.
What's even more shocking? Blake's real motives might be far more sinister and narcissistic than anyone ever imagined. Using her bestie.
She was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film, even if she's the lead, and that she's now tried to turn this whole thing into a PR victory for her to get past what appears to be the fact that she is an egotistical.
Taylor Swift and her husband Ryan Reynolds as leverage. Blake Lively allegedly tried to intimidate Justin Baldoni, even going so far as to threaten producers, making it clear that she would boycott the film if her outrageous demands weren't met. Y'all, as we're seeing now, this is much deeper than just a simple lawsuit. It seems Blake Lively had an evil master plan from the very start. By now we all know Blake has sued Justin Baldoni, accusing him of planting a smear campaign against her. Since then, Justin has countersued, claiming that Blake has been running a smear campaign against him. But this story, it goes much deeper than you think. Before we dive into all the newly leaked evidence, we need to take a step back and look at where it all began. As we're starting to piece together, the whole drama began long before it became a public feud. It goes all the way back to when Blake's reputation went up in flames of public condemnation.
Often happens when these stars drop a movie, people start digging around for other interviews of them, etc. And it was just sort of a course of, wow, like, she seems like kind of a jerk. Wow, she's like kind of a bully. She's rather mean.
And no, it had absolutely nothing to do with her ex, Justine Bond, as she's claimed. It was all Blake's own "miss me" attitude that started turning her fans against her. Let me break it down. During interviews promoting her and Justin's film It Ends With Us, fans started picking up on a vibe from Blake, an iffy, uncomfortable vibe. Curious fans quickly dug up old interviews,
literally removing text in between text and emojis to sort of make it sound worse,
of Blake, and oh boy, what they found was downright
He has made herself into the new Amber Heard, and he is the new Johnny Depp.
Disgusting to many. So to save her public image, Blake jumped on her defensive horse, blaming Justin and his PR team for planting negative stories about her. As part of her "Please Love Me Again" strategy, Blake did a New York Times piece to shift the focus off herself and onto Justin.
Now he's going full Johnny Depp on her to show that she was the bully, she was the one hurting him, and this guy who had, comparatively very little power was forced now to come out and tell the truth about Blake Lively.
Making him look like the real villain and herself the victim. The only problem? There's now concrete proof that the New York Times manipulated text messages and deliberately left out crucial details.
But he would, so he'd suddenly start filming my hands or my feet. But what was interesting is that to him in that moment, my hands were telling so much more of the story than my face. And I had to be so much more, it was sort of chicken or the egg. I don't know if I was more alive and awake as an actor because every part of me was up for grabs while he's filming. My mom will call 7 times in a row. She's that person. She's the one who thinks that like on time 6, you just like didn't see that she was calling. So she's just gonna keep calling.
Paint Justin in the worst light possible. Remember how Amber Heard did the exact same thing to Johnny?
And then you turned around and you were just as supportive of Ryan. Yeah. What is it like to...
And my hair care company, Blake Brown, my goodness gracious. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy week.
And most of all, we can see how she is tone deaf to the theme of the movie.
Depp back in 2018 with that snub piece in The Sun. She painted him as a monster and herself as the victim. Well, now Blake seems to be following Amber's playbook, using the exact same tactics. Interestingly enough, Amber even came out of hiding to show her support for Blake. But Blake made a huge mistake by taking a page out of Amber's playbook. We all remember how dismally it ended for Amber, right? It was a public disaster. Just like Amber Heard, Blake's biggest mistake was thinking that we, her fans, are stupid and that we're all idiots. Because, let's be real, even though she's claiming Justin and his PR team are trying to make her look bad in interviews, we can all see what's really going on. We're not blind. We can see how rude she is to interviewers, how dismissive she comes across in interviews. It's all right there for everyone to notice. We can see how Blake always makes it all about herself. Take this clip, for example. She was asked about her husband, but instead of answering the question, she turned it into a pitch for her hair care line. It's a perfect example of how she tries to shift the spotlight back onto her own agenda, no matter what the question is. And most of all, we can see how out of touch she is with the theme of the movie, and how little regard she seems to have for actual victims. Just check out this next clip, where instead of addressing the serious topic at hand, she shifts the focus back to herself, making it clear that she's more interested in her own image than in the real issues the movie is trying to highlight. Blake Lively's recent actions have seriously hurt her reputation, especially as more and more evidence emerges suggesting she may have been playing the victim all along. Justin Baldoni's legal team is ready to reveal text messages and documents that could turn the tide in this ongoing saga. Blake's accusations of sexual harassment and bullying, particularly against Justin, seem to be unraveling as leaked texts show she invited him into her trailer and set clear boundaries. Additionally, her claims about inappropriate material being shown to her and fat-shaming accusations are falling apart due to new revelations that contradict her narrative. Blake's lawsuit also includes a bizarre accusation about a lack of intimacy coordinator, but again, her own interviews and statements contradict this. Justin's lawyer is prepared to expose more, and now Blake is trying to silence them with a gag order. At this point, it's unclear whether Blake is truly a victim, or if her own actions have led to her downfall. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more updates.